Okay, so we've been on a journey this past few weeks, and Pastor Lorna came in and spoke about understanding grace. The second thing was understanding what? Works. And then the third thing was rewards. Okay, now let me preface this message by saying this. If your belief system is God's going to do it all, or somebody else is going to do it all, and I just get the rewards, turn to your neighbor and say, you're deceived. Yeah? If you believe that God's going to do it all, or other people are going to do it all, and you have to do nothing, that's deception. Remember last week we talked about faith without works is dead. I like to call it God and Sons Incorporated. It means I've got my stuff to do and God's got his stuff to do. One of the things a good, in fact, probably one of my best friends taught me was this: to do what you know to do and trust God for what you can't do. Yeah? Do what you know to do, but trust God for what you can't do. We've been talking about how we see ourselves, circumstances and opportunities has a major impact on what we say and what we do. Say that again. How we see ourselves, our circumstances and opportunities has a major impact on what we say and do. What I want you to get out of this today is this. It's designed, this message and this series is designed to help us learn from the mistakes of the people and the children of Israel who sabotaged their own destiny. They sabotaged it, they forfeited their destiny, and it was God ordained. Why? Because of their thoughts, how they were thinking, their speaking, their words, and their actions. This is very alarming to me because it says to us that God could ordain something for me and I could miss it because of me. That's alarming to me. So all these years I might have been blaming somebody else, blaming the devil, blaming the system, when really the door I should be looking at is where? Come on, point to me. You can't point to yourself. Point to me. Say, it's you. It's on you. Yeah? Joseph's family, the children of Israel, went to Egypt. Remember the story when Joseph was sold out by his brothers? He opened his mouth too soon, told him about his dream. His brothers are like, no way, not on our watch. And they put him in a pit, sold him. He went into Egypt. And then, of course, you saw the clap back when they come asking for goods, etc. They then, after that, moved to Egypt. That's how they came to be in Egypt. And they were in Egypt because it was a wealthy place of commerce, place of fertility, literature, Egypt, ancient Egypt. Think about ancient Egypt. And Joseph was the right-hand man to Pharaoh. Remember the story? You're with me so far? All right. But after Joseph's death, something happened. A new Pharaoh, a new king came into the land. He didn't know anything about Joseph. Nothing at all about Joseph. But what he did know was that the children of Israel were looking really strong, flourishing and mighty. They're looking really good. They're looking strong. They're mighty. And he starts to think to himself, hold on, if we get into a war in our own territory, these guys will be stronger than us. You ever been in a position where you're not troubling anybody. You're just going about your business, but people look at you and see you as danger. This is what happened. They weren't troubling anybody. They were just enjoying the prosperity of the land. So this king began to deal shrewdly. Hear the word shrewdly, because shrewd is a good thing. Remember the shrewd steward Jesus talked about? There's a positive side to shrewdness, but there's also a dark side. This king started to deal deceptively. in a way to dominate and enslave the children of Israel. So I want you to picture that, because this is the backdrop to how they got to the place in the wilderness. They went into slavery, then they went into the wilderness, and now they're at the verge of the promised land. They're close. They can see it, they can smell it. Have you ever been in a situation, question for you, where a good opportunity turned out to be filled with obstacles and opposition? Anybody? Even though you're not harming anybody, it just seems like you've taken a decision. It looked a good opportunity, and it probably is a good opportunity, but it's filled with obstacles and opposition. Numbers chapter 13 is where we've been living. It says, and Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up when? At once. And do what? Possess it. For we are well able to overcome. Now, I want to give you some definitions of possess so you understand the picture of when we talk about possess, what it means. In the dictionary definition, possess means to have or to own something or have a particular quality. To have or to own something or have a particular quality. That's the word in the dictionary. In philosophy, the word possess means to have control or ownership of something or someone. Pharaoh's trying to get control of the children of Israel, get them enslaved. In psychology, the word possess means to have control over something, thoughts, words, and actions. Biblically, in this context, in this text, it means to bring to ruin. Listen to the difference now in the Bible. To bring to ruin, destroy, devour, disinherit, occupy, seize. Are you getting the picture? Take possession, become the heir, inherit, possess, and succeed. Which one of those definitions sounds a little bit more driven? The biblical definition is driven, isn't it? To bring to ruin. This is what the children of Israel needed to do. They needed to go in and possess the land. But to do it, they had to dispossess the giants. The summary of possession, or to possess, means this. This is the idea. Capture this. This is the idea of taking physical ownership of one's destiny, goals, land, property, and or spiritual inheritance of God's promises. I'll say them again for you. This is the idea of taking physical ownership of your destiny, goals, land, property, or spiritual inheritance of God's promise. There's a physical, there's a spiritual. Just like the children of Israel should have taken the promised land, this is what I want us to talk about today. Possessing. I've got to possess it. No two ways about it. You're either possessing or you're being possessed. No middle ground. There's one quality which one must possess to win. Napoleon Hill says this, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. That doesn't sound like neutral, does it? That sounds like you've got to have a burning, ruthless focus to get your destiny. So I want us to look at 5 lessons from this text in Numbers 13 so that we can learn from the children of Israel to better navigate through life and possess our destiny. 5 lessons. Lesson number 1, divine guidance. Divine guidance. Divine guidance is God providing direction and wisdom to believers. And all throughout the scriptures, we see people seeking and following God's divine guidance for their lives. It's the first lesson we have to learn in this text, divine guidance. In 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 8, you can read the whole story when you get home. I'll just do a little summary. It says this: So David inquired of the Lord, saying, shall I pursue this troop? Shall I overtake them? Question number 2. And he answered, pursue, for you shall surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. Let me give you some context. David, like the children of Israel, faced a giant in that story. He faced problems, obstacles, and opposition. So what does he do? Well, does anybody remember David in the Bible? Did anything in the Bible suggest he was a wimp? He was a warrior, right? David killed people for fun. 200 Philistines for fun. He's a warrior. And he comes back to his home base and finds that his wives, his children, the children and the wives of the men, and the place is ransacked and they're gone. Just want you to picture it. This is a warrior. I don't know about you. If I'm David, everybody's getting it. There's not a discussion. We don't need to pray about this. This is not the time to pray, David. Everybody's getting it. I'm going into their camp. There's nothing left when I've finished. And I'm a little bit alarmed that David doesn't do that. Because he's a warrior. What do warriors do? They're trained to fight. And so if somebody messes with them, they're designed to go and take the other people out. But watch what David does. This is a massive, massive lesson. This is really, really tough lesson, but it's a massive one. David finds his strength in the Lord, or King James says he encourages himself in the Lord. You see his difference? He's a warrior. He's well equipped to go and deal with the Amalekites. But he finds his strength in the Lord. He encourages himself in the Lord, number 1. Then secondly, he asked the priest to bring the ephod, the sleeveless apron used for going into the presence of the Lord, so he can worship. He then inquires of the Lord, which is what we just read. Because I'm sure if you were David, I was David, we wouldn't be inquiring, would we? It's time to act. He inquires of the Lord for divine guidance. This is important, people. This is important. When life gives us giants, obstacles, and oppositions, even if we can fix it ourselves, it does not hurt to just say, Lord, what are you saying? Lord, what are you saying? Shall I get this? Shall I do this now? You can see the bigger picture. I can only see what's in front of me. Divine guidance, seeking the Lord. That's why a good personal devotion life is important. Because it keeps you aligned, it keeps you in tune, keeps your spirit man alive and sensitive. So the first lesson we're learning here is divine guidance. Everybody good with divine guidance? Everybody good now with what we're going to do when facing obstacles, opposition, even with opportunities? Still take some time to say, Lord, what are you saying? I know what I'm thinking. I'm good with it, but what are you saying? Number 1, divine guidance. Number 2, lesson 2, determine the best person. God came to Moses in Numbers chapter 13 and he said, send the people out. Remember, this was not God's idea. God acquiesced to the crying, the complaining of the people. We want to go and see the land first. So he said, okay, do your thing. Yes? But then Moses has to choose some people. And the Lord instructs Moses to send out these 12 spies. trusted leaders. Leadership is not a position or a title. What is it? What is leadership? It's not a leadership, it's not a title, it's not a position. What is it? Influence. Yeah? We get caught up in the title and the position. But actually it's influence. It's inspiration. What are you doing? What are you making happen? Who are you bringing along? So he finds trusted leaders of each tribe who would represent their families as they searched out the land. 1 Samuel chapter 13, 14. We're back to David again. It says this, but now your kingdom shall not continue. This is God speaking through Samuel to Saul. The Lord has sought for himself a man after his own heart. And the Lord has commanded him to be the commander over his people because you have not kept what the Lord commanded you. Even God secures the best person. Saul is the king. Like the children of Israel, in this story, he's facing a giant, obstacles and opposition from a vast and powerful army, the Philistines. But how does he handle it? You remember the story? He looks at the greatness of the giants just like the children of Israel. Instead of looking at the greatness of God, he looks at the greatness of the giant. What else does he do? He allows the fear and the tremblings of people to paralyze his faith. This is Saul. He's the king. He breaks all protocol in not waiting for the priest to offer up the burnt offering. It's protocol. His fear causes him to do that. Saul follows the people and disobeys the commandments of the Lord. So I know you think God is nice and gooey and lovely and what have you, but God fires him. Here's the dangerous part. He leaves him in position. That's why you've got to be careful with positions. Just because you're in it don't mean God's in it. Got to be very careful. Just because you got the title, don't mean God endorses you. It's really, really dangerous, this is. Saul stays in the position. He's still the king. God has fired him. But God says, I'm looking for somebody after my own heart. He's not it. God looks for the best person. Turn to somebody next to you and say, I'm going to be God's best person. Number one, divine guidance. Divine guidance. Number two, get the right person. These spies that went out came back with a negative report and cost people their God-given destiny. They had the position, they had the title. Moses sent them out, they came back and brought an evil report, one that did not align with God. Get the right person, number two. Number three, do the research. Number one, divine guidance. Number two, get the right person. Number three, do research. Moses sent out the 12 spies to research the place, to look at the people, the produce, and return after 40 days and provide a detailed report of their findings. You remember that? We talked about that in week 1. Luke 14:28 backs this up. Jesus says, for which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and do what? Count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it. Because if he hasn't got enough to finish it, it's going to be embarrassing, isn't it? Turn to somebody and say, it's going to be embarrassing if we can't finish it. Jesus explains this in this parable. The importance of researching what it will take to possess eternal destiny. And here's the caveat for us. Are they willing to pay the price? Are they willing? It's all right to do the research, but now you've done the research, are you willing to pay the price? What's the price? Jesus said in this text, will you love your family more than me? This is what he's asking. He says, whoever hates there means loving less than. You've got to love them less than me, is what Jesus is saying. You've got to love your family less than me. You've got to love yourself less than me. You've got to bear your own cross. The cross is an obstacle. It's opposition. It's tough. It's testing. It's tribulation. It's trials. It's a cross. That's what they're for. But remember we talked about last week, Jesus said, if you're going to come after me, you've got to do what? Deny yourself, take up your cross, and let's not try and get rid of the cross. Take up the cross. Follow Jesus wholeheartedly is what he was saying to them. This is the price. Before pursuing our destinies, church, it's nothing wrong with doing research. We must do research, but after we've done the research, we must then be prepared to pay the price. Research saves time and trouble and money. Number one was what? Divine guidance. Number two was what? Do get the best person. Number three, do the research. Number four, dissemination of information. The spies reported back to Moses and decided to detail the report in front of the people. Watch this. Instead of in private, where Moses could analyze it, filter it, and then disseminate it to the people. They bring it to the people. When they bring it to the people, what happens? Fear, right? Numbers chapter 13:26, read it. Now they departed and came back to Moses and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. They brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. It seems innocent, doesn't it? Nothing wrong with that. Seems innocent. But here's the thing. I used to do scouting in football. And how it works is there's a chief scout at a football club who would have scouts in different regions. And they would say, right, we have this team coming up in 3 weeks' time. Can you go and watch their game? And bring us a detailed report on what they look like defensively, offensively, in transition from defense to offense and the same backwards, and then what their key threats are and key weaknesses are. When I do that report, I do not send that report to the supporters. They don't need to know that. I don't send that report to reporters. I don't even send that report to the staff in the football club. I send that report to one person, the chief scout. The chief scout then disseminates what is needed for the coach, the manager, for them then to prepare for the game. These spies were sent out by Moses. And the report should have been given to him in private first. It should have been given to him in private first. Why? To avoid misperception. Remember we talked about perceptions. To avoid misinterpretation. And watch this one. Mixed messages. Caleb had one message. They had another message. They said the land's flowing with milk and honey. Remember we did this in week 1? And it's truly fruitful. However, the people are strong. Well, they're supposed to be. They're giants. The cities are fortified and very large. Well, don't you protect anything you treasure? The descendants of Anak, the giants, are there. Anywhere there's something good, expect giants. Giants aren't stupid. Anything that's good, expect giants. But they published the information without using dissemination. Where Moses could have analyzed it, he could have filtered it, edited it, and then brought it to the people. Dissemination of information. Because this is what caused their fear. It's the information that they were given. So therefore, instead of bringing it to Moses in private, they bring it to the whole people. All right, I can see that you're maybe struggling with that. Just a social media moment. If you're on social media posting, not you, the people who didn't turn up today, and you're posting, God is my savior, I'm a kingdom person, etc. But then you post another one that says, my spliff is wide and big. Bit of a mixed message, right? Okay, you don't get that one. You don't get. How about, I'm a kingdom girl, but my handle is big booty? Mixed message? I'm sorry to be so graphic. I don't go on social media much, but sometimes things pop up and I'm thinking, I know that person. I thought they were saved. Mixed messaging. Yeah? They didn't give the information, so it could be disseminated properly. So therefore, we have to understand avoiding misperception, misinterpretation, for the sake of not mixed messaging. Just give it to Moses. Dissemination of information. Last one. First one is what? Divine. Second one is get the best person. Third one is do your. Number 4 is dissemination of information. Don't put the cart before the horse. Where's my marketing people? Any marketing people in the house? Marketing messages must be aligned. Yes? You can't be mixed messages. You can't say, we sell phones, and then have curry patties on there. Mixed message. You've got to be clear. The message has to be clear. Number 5, do everything to possess destiny. The Lord instructs Moses to send out 12 spies, trusted leaders of each tribe who would represent their families as they searched out the land. In Joshua 14:12, it says this. Now, therefore, this is Caleb speaking. Some 45 years after this incident, this is Caleb. Now, therefore, give me this mountain of which the Lord spoke in that day. He don't sound like he's playing today, does he? Before he was quieting the people, come on, we can do this, we're able, let's go and possess it now, let's take over. Now, 45 years later, Caleb's out, give me the mountain now. For you heard in that day how Anakim were there, and that the cities were great and fortified. It may be that the Lord will be with me, and I shall be able to drive them out as the Lord said. After 45 years, can you imagine? He was ready 45 years ago to go possess the land. 45 years later, my guy has not moved. Give me this mountain. You know what that says to me? It doesn't matter what your age is. Doesn't matter what your age is. If you still have that same can-do as Caleb, you can still do it. After 45 years of trusting the word of the Lord that Moses gave him in Numbers 14:24, Caleb approaches Joshua to possess his destiny. This is not Joshua coming to him. This is Caleb going to Joshua, who's now the king. He's now the top man. Caleb reminds Joshua of the word of the Lord. You get into situations, what do you run to? Is it the word of the Lord? Is it going to somebody who knows the information? Or is it, that's it, it's over, I'm finished? He goes to the word of the Lord 45 years later. Patience personified. Caleb reminds Joshua he has been patient a long time over the journey. Because you have to understand, it's one thing to be positive and have a great spirit for one day. Bearing in mind, you're near the land, you're near the goal. But for 45 years, and he's still saying the same thing. He reminds Joshua of his patience. Caleb demands Joshua gives him his destiny. Demands it. Give me this mountain. This is what God promised, so I can go and take hold of it. I can possess it. No matter how long it's been, doesn't matter what circumstances. If you have what Caleb had, which was a different spirit, a can-do spirit, and you trust that with God and you're the majority, you will possess your destiny. Does anybody believe that? Yes. You believe that this morning? Yes. How we see ourselves, how you see yourselves, your circumstances and opportunities has a major impact on what you say and what you do. Is anybody in these last 70 days of the year ready to go possess? If you do, stand up and say, it's me.
Thank you for listening to the message today. We hope it blessed you. And if it did, please like, comment and subscribe for more videos from Micah. And don't forget to click the notification bell to see when they're uploaded. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you in the next one.